Hey guys, it's me,
Yes!
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Sonic Theory, where we trademark a name based on a pre-existing IP and actively try to get away with it. Now, I have a question for you. When you think of the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise's reputation, what comes to mind? Well, that's just you. Well, I think of a roller coaster at an amusement park. Universal Mummy Ride, anyone? The Sonic series is known for the roller coaster that is its franchise he stars in, and its many ups and downs, from the greatness of the classic era to the mediocrity of the Dark Age. But what if I told you that he wasn't alone? What if I told you that there was another series that had nearly as many highs and lows as the Sonic series? Absolute bangers and absolute stinkers, all to its name, that have almost identical patterns that you could say, maybe, they're the same. That's right! It's the one and only icon of many hyperfixations, M&M. Sorry, I lied, it's Molly McGee. That's right. Today, we're discussing why the ghost of Molly McGee and Sonic the Hedgehog may be more similar than you realize. First, let's take a look at the beginning. Looking at where Molly McGee began, the series made a name for itself, standing out against the competition on the Disney Channel with their more serialized episodes and more in-depth stories. Yada, 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 who cares? In contrast, Molly McGee was not that. It was episodic, it was comedic, it was... what's the word? Funny. It gave a unique take on an old, pre-existing genre with some random friggin' girl meeting with a friggin' supernatural thing. But this time, the entire first season had barely, if any, bad installments. Some were mid, but nothing was a flat-out stinker. But no matter what the quality of the installment was, you could always count on the animation and voice acting carrying the entire project. The entire team is incredibly talented, of course. Now, does that sound familiar to any of you? No? Yeah, I figured. Well, let me tell you anyway, because it's almost the exact same as the classic era in Sonic the Hedgehog. In the 90s, Mario was king, and Sega was like, we can't have that. So, contest, Rabbit, Needle Mouse, Sonic, Yabba Dabba Doo. The Sonic series made a name for itself, standing out against the competition with its beautiful 16-bit graphics, intense speed, and I think it was cool. I think. It gave a unique take on the genre of platforming, rewarding you for going as fast as possible with higher pathways, more bonus points for going faster. You get the point. The classic era had barely, if any, bad installments. Sonic 1, 2, 3, CD, Sonic Labyrinth actually wasn't even that bad. I'm going to be so for real with you. Some were mid, like Sonic Blast or Sonic R, but nothing was a flat-out stinker. No matter what the quality of the installments were, however, you could always count on the music carrying the entire project. Every single soundtrack in every single Sonic game was an absolute banger. So the beginnings were pretty similar, but that must be where the similarities end. Enter the second half of Season 1 and the Adventure era. At this point, both series were on pretty long hiatuses. Molly McGee had slowed down on releasing episodes after episode 15, and after Sonic 3 and Knuckles, the mainline series didn't have any games until 1998. Both of these eras weren't really as long as the previous eras. The classic series had many different installments over about 8 years, but the Adventure era was only about, 4, and Season 1B was like 4 episodes too, I guess. I'd argue these eras are just as, if not greater, than the previous. Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Pocket Adventure, Sonic Shuffle, and then on Molly's side you had Home is Where the Haunt Is, All Night Play, Molly versus the Ghost World. I swear all the episodes here are really good, but I'm just like forgetting what they're called. I'm sorry. And by the end of both of these eras, they had a satisfying conclusion that could definitely be a bridge for more, but if this was it, it could be a pretty good ending. Sonic Adventure 2 ended with Shadow's death and all of the characters mourning his loss and realizing there's more to life. We should go and live our lives. In Molly McGee Season 1, it ended with Scratch completely embracing himself as part of the family. And that's about it. And, of course, in every single one of these installments, the music for Sonic and the animation for Molly, the voice acting, stayed top notch. But even after Sega stopped making consoles and Molly McGee ended its first season, there was still more to come. And I'm sure whatever they had was going to be great. Why is there a gun at my head? There was a shift in environments in the next eras. The Dark Age for Sonic and Season 2A for Molly. During the production of Molly McGee Season 2, the team had worked completely from home, and Sega was working with third-party companies on new consoles like the GameCube, the PlayStation 2, and the Xbox. One of those consoles killed their Dreamcast. For their first installments, the first episode of Season 2 and Sonic Heroes, it's alright. There were some that loved the first episode of Season 2 in Sonic Heroes, but there were just as many people who didn't. It overall felt a bit off compared to what came before. Later on, they started to get a bit more mixed reception. They also started to go over a few more older topics, like relationship issues, quote-unquote, and menstruation, and, for Sonic's side, guns. On a serious tone, it's not a bad thing that these are in these, but, the way they were doing them, for the most part, was, not the greatest. I think the best of these is probably, the period piece. And I think that was actually handled pretty well. But, everything else is, the guns, the relationship issues. It's you could have done that infinitely better. Dude, come on. But who cares? Eventually, the series are going to make a big comeback. I can't even say this seriously because the next ones that come out were A Doll to Die For and Sonic 06. Eventually, Molly McGee Season 2 began to be panned by so many people, and Sonic 06 was one of the worst video games ever made. Even before and after this, Sonic and Molly both consistently experimented with new mechanics or plot points and lore that give the series an identity crisis. Sonic would constantly flip-flop between boosting and, regular momentum-based gameplay, combat, werewolves, swords, motion controls, and then Molly would be Scratch's past, here. Molly's boyfriend wants her best friend dead. Libby's dad is a horrible person. The Chens exist. There was so many things going on, and it just felt like nothing was properly executed. On a completely serious note, this was supposed to be an April Fool's joke, but, this is actually kind of getting a little bit serious. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It overall just felt like many parts of this era were missing the point of the source material in a way. But the voice acting and animation and music were still slappers. Let's not get that twisted. And now we reach the end with the Meta Era and Season 2B. Now, for the Meta Era, the Sonic series was given one more big chance and made a big splash, finally making a great, big installment that everyone loves. It continued the streak with consistent bangers, Sonic Generations, Sonic Mania, but it begins to fumble a bit before hitting a new low for the franchise. It struggles to recover and has one installment that is considered the best in the series, but it immediately falls back again. And it continues to fumble for the rest of the era. How did Molly McGee Season 2B fare? We got Web of Lies and Fauna, and those were, the best. I consider those part of the Dark Age, but, they came out a bit later, and they were actually, really, really, really good. There were some really good ones. Honestly, I started, this is serious, but, I started writing this part before all of the Web of Lies and all that came out, and I'm surprised that I was actually able to call that. Did it go to new lows? I don't remember. I think it was they did they did the New Year's episode. That was actually really good. And then they did something with Jinx, and it was the Chens had their moment, but they never had the chance to build it up because they kind of didn't have that. And I guess they continued to fumble, but the end was a really good episode. I just didn't like how they finished it off. I thought it was a good episode still though. Yeah, that's it. Eventually, after the Meta era, Sonic would continue on into a renaissance with Sonic Frontiers, the Sonic movie, Sonic Superstars, Sonic Origins, bangers after bangers, and became a mainstay in pop culture again. But Molly McGee ended after season 2 and was never seen again. Now, if this seems like crazy sketches, it's because they aren't. These are 100% serious, and I believe that Sega should go and sue Disney for something. I don't know. Hey, so I'm recording this after the fact. I forgot I don't say the Matt Pat outro. But hey, that's just a theory. A Sonic theory trademark. Happy April Fools.